So today we're going to learn about adjectives in Latin. But to begin with, let's, bring the bar down to adjectives in English and make sure we have a clear understanding of what those are. So we did this early on in the year where we were thinking of different parts of speech, but I don't know if everyone got a chance to really brainstorm this. So let's just do a little retrieval. Think of some adjectives, as many as you can. Maybe some positive, maybe some negative. I'll give you a couple minutes to think about this. Or you can pause the video. Then we can move along at a better pace. So why don't you pause the video, and then we'll move on now. All right. So hopefully you thought of some. I've thrown some up on the board. A reminder that there's just words that are going to allow you to describe other nouns in the sentence. Okay, so if I had the boy loves ice cream, I could throw in the boy loves wonderful ice cream, or the tall boy loves ice cream, or the sad boy loves ice cream. Give him some ice cream, maybe he'll feel better. But you understand essentially that they're only going to describe nouns. We don't want to get them mixed up with their cousin adverbs, which generally in English have ly after them, quickly, sadly, because those don't modify nouns, right? You can't have a sadly boy. They modify adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. But we're dealing with adjectives right now. So we got wonderful, tall, random, good. English, right? Typically in English, our adjectives come before the word they modify, right? We say the boy loves ice cream. We don't say the boy sad loves ice cream. It will be a little bit different in Latin. But let's move back into the language we're studying. Puer puellam amat. Is there an adjective in this sentence? There is not, right? We have boy, girl, and loves. And if we look at the case endings, we see that the boy is nominative, so it's the subject, and he loves amat, the girl, direct object, accusative. So the boy loves the girl. Let's spice things up a little bit, right? Let's add in an adjective. I'm going to throw one in. Praeclaris would be the dictionary info you'd see on page 61 of your textbook for this word. All right, and we're going to look at this example and say, I could either say that the boy was famous, puer praeclaris puellam amat. Now the famous boy loves the girl. Or I could say that the girl was famous. Now it's just a regular old boy who amats puellam praeclarum. Good luck with that, buddy. All right, but when we look at this, what do we notice about where the adjective is being placed, first and foremost? Right? In each of these cases, it's coming after the word it modifies. We might notice that the ending changes too. When it's talking about the boy, we had puer praeclaris, and now we have puellam praeclaram. So there's some weird things going on. We're going to get to talking about what's going on, but if you want to pause the video and maybe think about it yourself for a little bit, it's really good if you can deduce what's going on here. It will make the learning that much stronger. All right. Let's look at a different boy. Puer bella amat. And now, do we remember what bella is from? What noun it's from? It's from bellum, belly, neuter. So this bella here is what case, actually? Pause the video and take a guess. It's neuter, and so it's neuter accusative plural. So it's the boy loves wars, right? That weird A ending for neuter accusative plural. So different boy, doesn't love a girl anymore. He loves wars, maybe a little bit more of an aggressive boy. We can still throw a praeclaris in here, though. Right? What if instead of just he doesn't just like any old war, he likes famous wars. Puer bella praeclara amat. So now we have a whole nother form of praeclara, an A as an accusative plural ending. So this praeclaris is pretty versatile. As we've seen, it's been a second declension masculine nominative ending, praeclaris. First declension, right? Puella, puellai, puellai, puellam. It has a first declension accusative singular ending. And it has a second declension neuter plural ending. Praeclara when it was modifying bella. Again, notice behind the adjective that it's modifying, or after, I should say, the adjective that it's modifying. That's weird. Every other word we've learned so far, bellum, puer, puella, they only have one set of endings. This word can do all of these sets of endings we can learn so far. And we're going to talk about why. What did we learn? All right, I might have said this a little bit too early. How does an adjective agree with a noun it modifies? Let's go back. Well, am I going to give you a chance? Yeah, we'll look at these in a second. How does the adjective agree with a noun it modifies? Did we figure that out? I asked you a question about it, but I don't know if we figured it out. How many genders can an adjective be? We want to think about that too. How many sets of endings does an adjective have? I might have spilled the beans on that one. Let's take a look. All right, so side by side, here are the three sentences. How many genders do we see praeclara being? Take a second and pause the video and guess. We see three genders, okay? We see feminine, we see masculine, and we see neuter. It can be three genders. How many sets of endings does it have, right? We see the neuter second declension, we see the feminine first declension, and we see the masculine second declension. So it's three sets of endings, all three that we learned. And what is it agreeing with the word it's modifying in? I think it's easiest if we look at the center line for this. What three things does praeclarum agree with puellam in? Is it the same number? Yes, right? They're both singular forms. Is it the same gender? Yes. They're both feminine endings. And is it the same case? Yeah, they're both accusative singular. So this is the big one. Remember, an adjective agrees with the word it modifies in Latin in gender, number, and case. Write it down in your sheets. That's going to be one of the biggest takeaways. Gender, number, case. What does an adjective agree with a noun that modifies? You say it. Good work. All right, moving forward. Let's take a look at these 2-1-2 adjectives. I'll get to why we call them that in a minute after we look at these endings. We've now switched from praeclaris to another adjective, bonus, bona, bonum. Everyone likes bonuses, and bonus in Latin means good, right? You can't go wrong. If you do work for free as a lawyer, you call it pro bono work, for the good. Bonus, bona, bonum means good. And we notice that it can be, right, first declension, second declension right here in the masculine column, just like we're used to masculine nouns, us, e, o, o. Feminine, a lot of that first declension, many of those first declension nouns are feminine, right? So the feminine, when we want to have a feminine adjective, we use the first declension, bona, bonai, bonai, bonam, bona. And we have neuter endings as well, right? Which is what we just learned, the second declension neuter. We look in the plural, the feminine of the adjective, still first declension endings. Masculine of the adjective are still second declension masculine endings, like puer or amicus. And the third declension, and the neuter is like the second declension masculine. The neuter is like the second declension neuter, like bellum, right? Or primium. All right, so now that I've talked about that, why do we call these adjectives 2-1-2 adjectives? Why would I call bonus, bona, bonum 2-1-2? Pause the video and take a guess, and I'll tell you. We call them that because the masculine is going to be like the second declension neuter. The second column here, when we decline these adjectives out, is going to be like the first declension endings. And the third column, the neuter column, is going to be like, the second declension neuter. So this reminds us that we're going to decline them like second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter. Okay, so we call them 2-1-2 adjectives so we can remember what declension endings we're using. Does that make sense? All right. So, nota bene. Let's look at a little bit of a trick. How would I say the famous sailor loves the girl in Latin? Okay? And keep in mind here, the key is, what is the gender of nauta? Can you remember? What's our rule with first declension nouns? How would I say the famous sailor loves the girl in Latin? Pause the video and take a crack at it. Nauta praeclaris puellam amat. I was missing that, right? We missed the end of the sentence. What's weird about this? The endings don't match, right? When we looked back here, the endings always matched. right? The endings always matched between the word and the thing it was modifying. That was because in these cases, this was feminine and happened to have first declension endings. This was a neuter noun and had those endings. And puer is a masculine noun, right? So those endings didn't match because puer is an ER second declension noun. We didn't talk about that, so I'm sorry if you were confused. So as we noticed with puer praeclaris and with nauta praeclaris, the endings don't necessarily have to match. That's why we have to learn, we have to learn our masculine, feminine, neuter endings, because the key is that they agree in gender, number, and case. Does praeclaris agree in gender, number, and case with nauta? Yeah, right, because nauta is nominative. Praeclaris is nominative US. Nauta is singular. Nauta singular. Praeclaris singular ending, right? When we go back to our 212 adjectives, US. And then nauta is masculine. It's sneaky masculine, first declension. And praeclaris is also in the masculine column. So we got to make it nauta praeclaris. All right, so I hope this has given you a little taste. What I'd like you to do now is practice with the extra words on the worksheet that you have on the portal page. And let me know how it goes. All right? Awesome.